Hello, everybody. Welcome to Arsenal X, the Xbox podcast here on Boss Rush Games, where we throw up the X because we're about to throw down. I'm your host, Corey Deerigan. Alongside me, as always, is the wise Wisconsinite, Mr. Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, everyone?
How are you, Jesse?
I'm doing pretty good.
How's that nap?
Good. I needed it, definitely, because I was going on like 4 hours this morning. So our kid, me and the wife were trying to watch a movie last night. We watched The Void, which, if you like, I know you don't, Corey, but to the listener, if you like kind of creepy, like horror type movies, I wouldn't say it was like super. It's not really a scary movie. It's more, I think it more leaned on the sci-fi, but yeah, the Void I ended up watching was pretty good. It was weird for sure, but we were trying to watch that, and then with the kids just would not go to bed. I think they finally probably went to bed around close to 11 o'clock last night. So yeah, an hour and a half movie turned into almost 2.5 hours to try to watch it because they kept on. So yeah, my sleep kind of got all screwed up. So glad I got some rest before we did this show.
Yeah, I actually got a lot of sleep this weekend, but it turned into I slept too much, so now I'm tired because I overslept.
Oh yeah.
And because last night I crashed at 10:30. My wife was even like, "You were out and snoring at 10:30." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I was really tired." And then I didn't even wake up till 9:40 today, which is extreme sleep again with a 2-year-old. So I was like,
"Yeah,
man." And then we kind of didn't really do a lot today, but we did. Speaking of movies, we watched Palm Springs on Hulu yesterday with Andy Samberg and I always forget the actress's name, but she was the mom in How I Met Your Mother in the last season.
Okay.
And
okay, yeah, I know. I know what she looks like.
Her name's Kristen. It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna look it up. But we watched it. It was actually really, really good. Josh Finney actually recommended it to me, and
okay.
Yeah, So it was really, really, really good. It was a rom-com with a sci-fi twist.
Okay.
Basically, they're stuck on a time loop, and they relive the same day every day.
Oh, okay. Is that a newer one?
Yeah, it just came out 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, because I heard someone talking about that and wanting to go see that.
Yeah.
Or going to see that or something like that. And yeah, that it was good. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I know what it was. It was I had checked out a new podcast recently. And they just talk about movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And just pop culture or whatever, but they had said that they had watched it and they said it did a really good job of in some of the areas that they even felt like Groundhog's Day didn't really do a good job.
Yeah.
They made it actually interesting every time that stuff started over and not as repetitive feeling.
Yeah.
Made it feel fresh. So
yeah.
But
yeah, I wouldn't watch it in front of kids. There's a lot of F-bombs in that movie.
Okay.
It's something I would just watch with your wife, but it was really fun. I really enjoyed watching it a lot. So I'm going to take off this Twitter feed because there's just some depressing things happening in the world that I don't really feel like looking at. But yeah, we are Arsenal X, Boss Rush Games Xbox podcast. You can find us here live every Sunday night. We'll sit here and talk about Xbox for an hour and a half-ish, and then maybe play some games if we're not dying afterwards. But you can download the show on your podcast service of choice if you can't join us live on Wednesday mornings on your podcast service of choice, YouTube, our website, which is bossrushgames.com. You can also check out our family of shows there. Like, subscribe, share, rate, and review wherever you consume this show. And we appreciate you, the fans, because that's something I feel like we should say more, because I don't think we say it enough. But it's a good time.
Otherwise, this is just us recording and saying stuff into the void.
Yeah,
you give us a reason.
I mean, to be fair, it gives us an excuse to talk to each other every weekend. But
yes,
all right.
That's very true.
Speaking of weekends, next week, and we will be doing the big discussion about what was announced during the showcase on Thursday. Which, by the way, why is it on a Thursday morning in the middle of a morning? Some of us still have to work. Phil.
Yeah. I wondered about that too, because I mean, like, if you wanted to do that time of the day, that's fine. But yeah, like, couldn't they have picked like a weekend when more people would be able to see it?
Or like even like Thursday evening, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people have different work schedules and stuff, but yeah, you and I would be able to watch it. So,
well, I'm literally gonna set an alarm and wake up to watch it, because I don't know that I would be able to sleep otherwise. The idea of knowing that I'm going to be sleeping through it, so I'm literally gonna try to go into work early on Wednesday night and get done as early as possible so I can go home and sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited though. I will be watching that as soon as I get home. I hope I'm gonna try not to look at anything on like while I'm at work or anything. I really just want to watch it fresh, and although I'm sure I will check my phone, and it'll be every 5 seconds. Yes, this was announced. Yes. I won't be able to ignore it. I just won't. So,
well, I'll make sure that if he says anything, he says it in his personal one. To me, like me and him, just.
I mean, it's not that big a deal. I just want to know like the fun stuff that's gonna be announced. So, yeah, I'm quite excited though. It's gonna be a good show, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, all signs seem to be pointing to it being a big show that we're not gonna want to miss out on. So
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited, but we can't talk about it yet. So we're gonna talk about some other things. By the way, I did get Far Cry 3 and 4 for $9 this week. Very, very excited because I've never played a Far Cry game. So.
Oh, okay.
This should be.
Yeah, that's right. You haven't played 5 or anything either.
No, I was like, I should start with 3 and 4. Then maybe if I like them, 5 will be next. Because I'm sure it'll be on sale 1,000 times before the next one comes out. So.
Because 5 is a lot like it's very either you like it or you don't. Like a lot of people didn't really care for the 5th one because of everything, but I honestly I loved it. I just loved the corny craziness of it. Like I didn't mind that at all. But part of that is probably me being a big fan of Saints Row and stuff. It was almost it was kind of along those lines where they took things seriously at times, but at the same time it was just kind of corny and goofy. But yeah, like three is, like I was saying before the show, 3 seems to be like the definitive, according to people who love Far Cry, like the definitive like best game out of the franchise. So
yeah,
and I like I said, I haven't even played it yet, so we'll both be experiencing it for the first time, I think.
Yeah.
I still can't remember whether I played that one or not. So
Yeah. I'm still waiting on this Resident Evil 3 to go on sale because that's our book club game. I'm waiting for a bunch of
oh
stuff to go
yeah,
on. I'm waiting for a bunch of
yeah,
stuff to go on sale so
yeah.
we can. Speaking of book club stuff, oh, by the way, you said you wanted Okami HD on Xbox. It's $9.99. So
Yeah, see, it was 9.99 on Switch, and that's why I got it on there because it was on sale there. But now, like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it a second time.
yeah,
If it had been on sale, when it was,
hmm
you know,
yeah,
but
yeah. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Again, I have way too much to do and not enough time to do any of it. So I'm like
yeah,
almost done with Tomb Raider. And like I've got
yeah,
sucked back into some of this Destiny stuff, so
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. It's just a big old mess here to try to finish this stuff, but
hmm
I don't know. But let's talk about some of this stuff that's happening in the world of Xbox, Jesse. There's a lot of interesting moves being made. For one, the Microsoft has removed the yearly Xbox Live Gold subscription from purchase from their website and from other places. So I'm really thinking that they're going to have some sort of Game Pass subscription that you can purchase because Gold's already included in Game Pass, right? Or
hmm
Ultimate, Game Pass
Ultimate,
Ultimate.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
I think that they're going to start pushing people to Ultimate
yeah,
for all this. So, but what do you think? Like, I mean, you can usually find gold real cheap, but it doesn't make sense if you're a Game Pass subscriber. I wonder if they're seeing the numbers of people just subscribing to Game Pass and being like, oh well, if they have Game Pass Ultimate, why do we need this? So,
yeah,
but
yeah,
the other rumor is that they're making online gaming free now. So,
yeah. Which I mean, there was a time and place where Sony was beloved because they didn't charge monthly for to play games online, and
mhm.
then they the next year then that was kind of a standard, so they had went with PS4 they started charging for the monthly service, and now for Microsoft to say, oh, by the way, we're not
Yeah,
going to charge you to play games online anymore.
I know.
It's kind of an interesting
Yeah,
move.
the company that revolutionized paying for online games is no longer going to make you pay to play
Pay to
online
play, yeah,
games.
yeah, yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, uh, so I don't know. That's interesting. I think people they're just trying to get as many people into Game Pass as possible, and you know,
hmm
actually turning that into a Game Pass discussion. They're adding Project xCloud to Game Pass Ultimate free of charge when it launches in September. They said it's launching in September,
Okay.
which I'm really hoping that xCloud launches on iPhone in September because still waiting on my email. Phil,
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah, yeah. If it launches, I'm guessing that's going to be across the board, but
Yeah,
I guess I could be wrong though, too, but
yeah. I mean,
it wouldn't make sense
but
to.
I think the iPhone preview still only has the Master Chief Collection on it, which is odd. So, I mean, I know they're doing all these deals with Samsung and stuff for
Mhm.
and just and using Android in general as their platform.
Yeah, yeah,
But I also hope that they are working on an iPhone version because I would really love to. If that happened, I would just I don't know. I think my Switch would be put away for a little bit. Sorry, guys, just because there's nothing on there really I'm playing right now. I mean, Crosscode is
yeah.
fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
hmm
I'm just so sucked into Crosscode right now too.
Yeah.
On Game Pass, by the way, I got on Switch like a dummy because I didn't know it was on Game Pass. But it's hard
I
though.
think it literally got added that week
It did.
that you bought it.
It
Yeah.
got added the day I bought it,
Yeah.
and I was like, but it's fine though.
It happens. Yeah.
Crosscode's really good though. I highly
Yeah.
recommend it. It's so good. So
Yeah. Because they, like that means you're supporting them. You're giving them some money. So
yeah,
I mean, not that Game Pass isn't, but
yeah,
what I'm saying.
yeah. But I mean, I'm just really enjoying Crosscode, but I'm also I go through Game Pass like once a week just to see like, hey, what games are being added. Some stuff's being taken off, which I'm really sad about. Like Rhyme is something I wanted
Yeah.
to play through because I mean it's our book club game next month, but just I really wanted to play it through Game Pass, and I'll probably just have to, suck it up and get it on sale at some point, or maybe it'll get renewed for Game Pass. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Game Pass still the best deal in gaming, and it's I don't think that it's gonna get any. I don't know how it could get any better without them actually trying to add cost to it, because I mean between xCloud and all of their first party games and stuff, it's just I don't know if you are interested in Xbox at all. I don't understand why you don't have Game Pass. So
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a. It's honestly, yeah, so cheap for, because even if you add up how much money you pay a year for just regular standard even Game Pass, where you're just getting the games on Xbox, if
yeah,
it still ends up being cheaper than the amount of even just first party games, that will be loaded up onto there, because
yeah,
like I think there, like it would be the same cost as like what two $60 games or something like that,
yeah. And if you get
or
Ultimate,
less.
it's three $60 games. Which, I mean, if you buy like in 1 year, if you buy like, I mean, this fall, just thinking about first party games, probably right. Like you'll have
Yeah.
Halo Infinite and Forza. I mean, that's two games right there that people will probably
Hmm.
be really interested in. Plus, like all the games that have already come out, like Bleeding Edge, Ori and the Blind Forest, Minecraft Dungeons, Grounded. The beta for Grounded is on there, so
Hmm.
like or early access or whatever they're calling
Early,
it,
yeah.
preview,
Yeah.
whatever. So like, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that's already more expensive than a year of Game Pass
Yeah.
Ultimate. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's the thing, is it's um yeah, they're it sounds like they're doing a really good job of making sure that people who bring their games on there get paid and all that stuff as well. um you know uh, yeah, it just seems like a really good deal all around. And and if there's a game that, like we said, that's going away or whatever on it too, like they usually have it on sale then as well, because that's a game that's on Game Pass, and so you automatically get a sale for
yeah,
having Game Pass. You save money on it, so
yeah,
if you buy it,
yeah,
which is nice. So
yeah. Plus, right now, 1 month is $1. So
yeah, yeah, they do that a lot too if you're just starting out.
yeah,
Which I have a feeling the Series X might come with like a month free of it, uh, or so, just because they want people to try it out more.
yeah,
So I think there's a lot of ways that you can get into it and try it without barely having to pay anything,
yeah,
to see if it's something you want. And like 9 times out of 10, I would imagine that it's something that you want
yeah,
after you've tried it, and
yeah.
so
I mean, some of the games, like, and the thing too is like sometimes some of the games that I would like to buy, right? Like,
mhm.
I don't know if I'll like it or not. But if I do like it and I want to support the developer, I'll just buy the game physically, and have it sit on my shelf.
Yeah.
Like Gears 5, right? Like, of course I'm going to download it through Game Pass, but I like Gears a lot, and so I actually ended up getting the whole series physically on Xbox One. So just because I like the series so much, I know like if I popped it in, if the internet went out and like I popped it in, it would be like a totally different experience. But I don't know. It's just I really don't like a lot of clutter, honestly. Like I'm actually really thinking about. I don't really like how my desk situation is set up right now. So like I might redo it again, but I'm trying to. I don't know. My brain is everywhere because part of my brain wants me to be like clean, all digital, no, like be super clean and everything, and the other part of my brain's like, no, I want all the stuff. I want everything physically. So
speaking of, I was at Target today, and they have the Doom Slayer action figures that are made by a McFarlane or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kind of wish it was green, like like in the game, but they made it like an orangish color,
kind of like the like that. Old school Doom. It seems like.
Yeah, so like I wonder if they did that though because it would look too much like Master Chief.
I mean, maybe
because the helmet is quite a bit different and everything's kind of different about him, but at the same time he does have some resemblance of kind of the like a big bulky kind of Master Chief kind of thing, but it's I don't know, it looked cool though. And then you can also get the main bad guy from the Doom or whatever, is some dude with like the big horns or whatever. I don't think it's the devil, but I don't remember but yeah, they've always got some cool things like that at Target, and I'm the same way. I've always got to like just tell myself, you don't need that, because trust me, I would love to have some of those kind of stuff, but I've tried to get away from collecting things like that and stuff because a lot of times, honestly, it just sits. I mean, it's nice to look at, but at the same time, is that like, it's like, do I really spend this money for something that I'm just going to look at? If I really wanted to, I could pull up pictures of it on the internet and look at it. Like I've been in the same situation you're in, where it just like is like, I really would like to, but it's like those
NECA Ninja Turtles we were talking about the other day. Like, I would really love to have them. Like, just the Turtles, even. I don't really care about having, like, Shredder or Splinter or anything, although Splinter would be cool, too. But I don't really... I just would like to have the 12-inch Turtles at some point. But where am I going to put them? My kid's probably going to play with them. My nephews, if they're over there, they love Ninja Turtles. They would probably play with them and not understand that these things cost that much money.
Yeah. So like the best thing to do would be to try to find a shadow box that would be able to put the whole thing boxed inside of it, hang it up on the wall. Because that's the thing. Like those are a little bit more tempting because those will be worth something later down the line. Like because most of that stuff, it's like they sell it for a little while, and if you didn't get it when they released them, like you're gonna either pay a boatload to get them on eBay or Amazon or something. And so those are a different, even like the ones that they were selling at Target and stuff, like they sold them for a little while, and like now those shelves where they had a bunch of those are just, you can't find anything Turtles over there anymore, because once they're sold out, they don't get another shipment in, which sucks, but
well, I mean, what are you gonna do? I guess
Yeah, it's I look at it this way, like that's money that I just ended up being able to spend somewhere else that either I needed it or whatever, with games. And games aren't exactly a cheap hobby.
I
um
know. I'm figuring that
so
out. And plus, they're not getting any cheaper either. So,
they definitely aren't.
so, uh, but we're gonna kind of move along here. I saw this thing that Gears 5 on Xbox Series X is certainly powerful enough to run at 120 frames a second at its current state and still run in full 4K, which is
Hmm.
insane to me. The cinematics on Xbox One X, the game runs at 60 frames a second at 4K, but the real time cinematics run at 30 frames a second,
Hmm.
and the Xbox Series X will be able to run the game and the cinematics at 120 frames a second with no problem.
Yeah, I man, like as like they've been kind of slowly dripping out more information about the like the hardware and stuff, like some more in-depth looks at how they did the hardware stuff. And it sounds like like this console is basically like practically nothing in it seems to be just original or whatever. Like it's all modded, or not modded, but it's all like you know they've kind of put their own additions to a lot of the setups and stuff in it to really make it be able to do whatever developers need it to do.
Yeah.
Like like they literally talked about, in one of the things I watched, they like went and literally just talked with devs all over the world and asked them, like, what when you're making games and stuff, like what are some things that are holding you back? Like what are some things that you would like this next console to be able to do? Things like that. They literally tried to talk with tons of developers to try to literally tackle any issues one by one that they've had over the years trying to, develop games for console.
Hmm.
And it seems like they literally made this Frankenstein, box to try to literally fix any kind of problems that developers have had in the past, trying to develop for things.
Yeah.
And like I've talked about it multiple times, but just, the one of the big things about this console, again, is the fact that they chose to have that dedicated power just for things like ray tracing and audio. So it's not pulling from the same power source that's powering all the other stuff to run the actual games, and make them look good.
Yeah.
So that, that's gonna be, I think, is gonna be a standout thing that's really gonna help. I think ray tracing and a lot of that stuff is just gonna look so much better on the Xbox, versus anywhere else. Well, I mean, PCs got some more advanced stuff now, like in ray tracing, but
Yeah. Plus, like, I keep hearing, or I think Xbox is really pushing the frame rate stuff, especially with,
mhm,
Gears is probably going to run at 120 if you want it to. Dirt 5
yeah,
is really pushing 120. I'm sure Forza will run it somewhere between there, probably somewhere between 90 and 120 if you want it to.
mhm,
And I think they're really pushing the frame rate stuff with Xbox because from what I'm hearing with PlayStation, they're still only aiming for 30 frames a second, at least internally with first party games, and full 4K at 30 frames a second, which I'm not sure that's what people want. Like, I think people prefer frame rate over resolution at this point. Especially
Yeah.
if you can at least get your game running at 1440p and 60 frames a second, I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so,
because like people always say that they'll pick performance over visuals,
yeah.
especially when it comes to, there's a lot of games that um have issues with frame rate drops and stuff like that, and it takes you out of the experience.
Like I run my,
So like whereas visuals are just they are what they are. We're used to playing, like games that are just pixel art or whatever. We don't care about, you don't really care to a certain extent about those things as long as the frame rate's, going well. So
yeah. Well, I mean, like I run my Xbox One X at 1440p with the 120 hertz mode on, and
hmm
I don't really experience any drops. I know like 99% of the games don't run at 120 frames a second, but
hmm
even if there is some sort of slowdown, like it doesn't show because the refresh rate is so high. So
yeah.
I would rather play it like that. Plus, like, there's little, like, for me, there's like little to no difference between games at this point running at 1440p and 4K. Like, I can see the
Yeah.
difference between 1080p and 4K and 1080p and
hmm
1440p, but I very rarely see the difference between 1440p and 4K, and especially if you're playing on a smaller monitor, like what's the point at that point, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, like certain I feel like certain games it's easier to tell, but it's one of those things where I feel like once you get used to something, you probably won't notice it quite as much.
yeah,
Whereas, frame rate's always going to be like that's going to kind of stick out like a sore thumb in a lot of ways because like like you can get it where it's like it just feels like it's moving so much more fast,
yeah,
like everything's just smoother and stuff like that. So,
yeah. So
but,
I don't know. I think I think the Series X has so much going for it at this point that it's just kind of ridiculous, and I think Microsoft knows that, and I think that's why kind of tailing into our next kind of topic is like they are discontinuing the Xbox One X and the all digital series or all digital One S. So
hmm
because I think, like I said, what yesterday maybe on Boss Rush,
yeah, I
like I
think we kind
think
of talked about it on there.
yeah, I think whatever that Lockhart console is going to be the One X, right? Like I mean, it's going to be
Yeah,
more powerful. I think
yeah,
just to hit the frame rate stuff that they want, but I mean, I think you have the One S that's probably going to work with XCloud for a lot of things, and you're going to have
yeah,
the Lockhart, which is going to take the place of the One X, and then you're going to have the Series X, which is the beefy console that's $500, and like I think
hmm
that's reasonable. I think that's I think the Series X is going to match the PlayStation digital version in price.
yeah,
The
yeah,
Lockhart's going to be but $200 cheaper as like an entry level like console, like next gen console, and then the One S is going to be a nice $99 Halo machine for some people who don't care next
yeah,
this holiday, like I really think
yeah,
because Halo Infinite's coming out on one also, so I really think that that's how they're going to mark. That's what their strategy is going to be, and I think it's really
yeah,
smart.
yeah. The One S will be a Game Pass machine.
Yeah, I mean,
For
why not
people
though?
literally like people want to just get Game Pass and that I mean you'll save like a boatload of money and have a ton of games to play every month.
Yeah, and like
It's
I think that's really smart. To be honest with you, I think that that's
yeah,
just really smart marketing, and I hope that they succeed at this because PlayStation's coming in hot. They've got a lot of. I mean, these consoles are going to be expensive. They don't have I mean, Spider-Man, but like they don't have a huge exclusive this fall, right? Nothing as big as Halo, I think.
that we know of.
Yeah, that we
Yeah.
know of so far, but like I mean, Miles Morales is big, but it's not. It's like they already said it's not the next Spider-Man game, really. So
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know, man. I don't think that Spider-Man is going to sell systems. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I know a lot of people are excited for Miles Morales, but I don't know if it's a system seller the way that maybe Halo could be. You know.
yeah, I mean, like I kind of said, like for me, like I would like if Miles Morales was the only game coming out that I was interested in, would I buy a PS5 then and there? No, probably not. But like yeah, for Sony it's kind of like you know, they've got a couple of things that I'm interested in. Um and and they didn't really tell us, but some of those games they showed are coming to both consoles too. So
Hmm.
it's not really,
Yeah, I
so
think
a
they
lot
said
of that
like
stuff, even if you're not.
the one game besides Horizon, like the one game I was really looking forward to, Kenna. I think they said it's coming
Hmm.
to PlayStation 4 also, and is only a timed exclusive, and will probably be on Xbox at some point. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think, man, I don't know, man. If I was a PlayStation fanboy, like I would be kind of worried, honestly. Like I don't think the PlayStation 5 has anything worth buying at launch. But then, I mean, I guess people could have that same argument for Xbox Series X since everything's coming to
hmm
Xbox One also. But like,
which most of the PS fanboys are riding that.
yeah,
They're saying that the like nothing. The Xbox doesn't have any. They're still saying the whole Xbox doesn't have any exclusive things and blah blah blah. But that that's the thing is now we've gotten directly from Phil Spencer that what most people who've thought about these things, like thought about it with the knowledge of what we know and how things work, and how many times have they said that, like, or just hinted at it at least, that the way they were moving is more like into like a almost a PC kind of
hmm,
realm of how they want things to work. And I mean, we kind of seen that with the toggling on and off of frame rate versus, like we were talking about earlier. And so, like they've basically, acknowledged something that I think I've even said on the show multiple times, is that it's going to be no different than a PC.
hmm,
Like because some games can run on older hardware PCs, that doesn't has never held them back
yeah,
from making stuff that on the newer hard drive or newer hardware runs and is just does amazing things, like that it has never held PCs back. So if they're doing that same thing with the Xboxes, then how exactly? I mean, there's going to be things that you probably it'll be a different experience in some ways. Even with the hard drive loading things faster and stuff like that.
yeah,
I mean, there's going to be things that will probably it will be definitely a not as fun experience on the old hardware, but that's you're still getting to play the game,
yeah,
is basically what they're saying. If you really really do not want to have to deal with those old issues that we used to have, then get the new Xbox.
yeah,
I mean, we're not going to tell you that you have to,
hmm,
but if you want that better experience, then you're going to want to get the new Xbox. I mean, I don't get why people have so much hate and throwing so much shade at Xbox for choosing to not force people into buying new hardware to play their new games. Like I don't get it. I think it's they're caring more about their consumers and the people that have spent their hard earned money into buying an Xbox, and they want to make sure that because they realize, like we all should, that it doesn't matter how powerful your new console is, it's not going to produce these games that are just mind-blowingly next gen right off the bat in the first 2 years,
especially
of
third party
it.
games.
Yeah. So it's just, like I just don't get it. I don't get the people who constantly consider it to be this bad thing and the reason why no one should get one. It's like, dude, it's like but they're telling you don't have to get one. Yeah, they're telling you don't have to get one.
Yeah,
because that's a consumer. That's like, was something they decided to do to not force you to get this expensive console in the middle of a pandemic where a lot of people still are without money or or jobs, or trying to find jobs that actually let them come into work and things like that,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to work through all this, so it's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been weird, but like I think that this is actually like the secret, like the Trojan horse for Microsoft is like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with Game Pass and having no real exclusives for at least 18 months, right? Like, and you'll be able to get the better version when you upgrade anyway. Like, that's such the Trojan horse. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I feel like maybe people will be getting like Xbox One S's for Christmas this year, maybe like just to check out some of these games, and then
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 years from now, when they feel like upgrading to the next console, like they'll be like, oh, I have all these games and they look way better, like that, good for them, like I mean, I want to get a Series X this year just because I want to, and B, probably someone should probably cover it for us since we're doing an Xbox podcast. But you know what I mean? Like I want to play the best version of Halo Infinite. I want to play the best version of Hellblade. I want to play the best version of Psychonauts. Like I want to play the versions of these games the way that the developers intend them to be played, and that's kind of my idea there. So also I want to play Destiny at 60 frames a second, like, oh, sorry guys, I want to play my shooters at 60 frames. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think at the only thing at launch is like there's so many games coming out right at the launch of this thing. Like within I think 7 days, Destiny Beyond Light, Cyberpunk, Assassin's Creed, Halo Infinite, and what was the other one? The other big one.
Well, I don't know if Flight Simulator is coming. Well, that's coming out. That's coming out soon, I think.
I think in
Flight
August
Simulator.
at some point. End of August, I think they said.
Yeah.
And did you see the PC version is like 10 discs?
Yeah. I
had
sent that. I just tell them that to add, like, because I had looked at it a while ago, and I was just like, that's hilarious. And they're double-sided, I think.
Yeah.
They're double-sided discs on top of it. So that's technically 20 discs, I think.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
But that's, like, I mean, they said there still will be an update, that there might be an update for some stuff. But ideally what they're trying to do is they wanted you to be able to just, not, if you don't want to have to download it digitally, to be able to have it and install it that way. which is funny. I mean, it's kind of like a little fun, cool throwback to how it used to be when you used to have like, a whole bunch of discs or a whole bunch of floppy discs that you would have to pop in to
Yeah, I had like
install
I think
games.
for Roller Coaster Tycoon for all of the expansions and stuff, I had like 6 or 7 discs or something, and like The
Yeah.
Sims, just like oh my gosh, where's this disc? I need this disc to reinstall it. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, hell, even on Xbox, original Xbox, the Halo games I think were like 2 or 3 discs to install stuff, I thought. Or like I think one was multiplayer and one was the regular campaign or something like that.
Um,
I want to say.
I know
Or at
Halo.
least Halo 2,
I know
thought.
Halo 2 had a separate disc for some of the multiplayer maps that you had to install.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And then they did release, I think, the expansions. The expansions would come on separate discs too for like new maps and things
yeah,
like that over time, I think. So,
yeah, um, yeah. I
but yeah,
can't remember that far back. I know like I think Steel Battalion also had 2 discs. Well, I mean,
yeah,
even when you get into 360 stuff, like Mass Effect 2 and 3 were 2 discs, and
yeah.
Lost Odyssey was 4.
Um, I can't remember. I think it was the Xbox version of Mecha Assault 2. I
Yeah.
think it was the Xbox version of Mecha Assault 2 came with 2 discs, but that would allow you to hook up yours and a friend's Xbox, and you could pop that disc into their Xbox, so you could play multiplayer on multiple Xboxes by LAN party style.
Yeah.
And they did that just so you could play with a friend, and so they didn't have to have that game in order to be able to play multiplayer, which was cool at the time.
Yeah.
Um, Command and Conquer did that, I believe, with PlayStation or something. Play PS2 as well, I think.
Yeah.
Where you could play multiplayer with a friend.
Yeah.
Through console hookup. I think it was PS2. Yeah, that's like way far back. But
Oh man, Jesse, I don't mean to cut you off, but the NECA Leonardo is down $18 today on Amazon. It's down to $113.30.
13.
It's so
And
stupid.
that's the bigger one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
RAF is $160 though. So,
yeah,
did you see that there's a trench coat RAF too?
yeah. I did.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I
funny.
seen that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow.
Yeah. I love that movie. Can we do another movie commentary on that movie at some point soon?
We'll do a movie commentary on our movie commentary
Yeah.
of that movie.
Well, that was sad because like we tried to move all the Arsenal X stuff over to Boss Rush, and that was like
Yeah.
one of the things that wouldn't move over because we used the Ninja Turtles theme song to intro the show,
Yeah.
and we couldn't
Yeah,
move it
that's
over. That's
right.
like the one thing that stuck. So, I still would like to do another movie commentary though. That'd be fun,
Yeah.
and maybe do it live,
Yeah.
so people can watch it with
Yeah.
us. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Making
Yeah.
plans. Look at us.
I know, like that's the thing is like like just trying to think of like yeah, because I do miss doing those movie commentary stuff.
I know.
I
do
would
too.
like actually do like the real talk stuff,
Yeah, I miss
but
I
but
miss movie.
I feel like we would have to cut something else out.
I know.
That work.
I like the. I was talking to somebody the other day. Like, I love everything we're doing, but I wish like it was still like just simple stuff. Like, I wish the Boss Rush podcast was like the Bombcast, where it was like 3 hours long and we were just talking about everything again.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love Pow Block and Arsenal X, just with like the things that we've been expanding out, doing like the 1v1s and some of the other things that we're trying to do, like having all these podcasts, I think is just like I don't know if holding us back is the right word, but kind of preventing us from doing other interesting things, you know?
Hmm.
And
Yeah, well, and yeah, like mostly that's honestly, it's just like the time. Like we all have such weird different schedules of work. Like literally all three of us have completely different work schedules. Like
yeah,
Ed has to work every weekend almost, and every once in a while he has off, and then, with me working third shift, it's like on the weekend, I'm still trying to kind of keep that, for the most part, that sleep schedule. So I'm not all screwed up on Monday when I go in and I'm like tired already at, 10 o'clock at night.
right.
Cause that would suck. Cause that's like only like three hours, 2 hours into my night at that point.
Yeah,
So it's like, yeah, yeah, that's just life though, and I feel like like we're doing a good job at least of trying to do as much as we can with the free time we have,
yeah,
and I'm glad you are kind of taking a break this week, and because if you're gonna be working on stuff, I do think that's a good idea, because there's enough of us that are doing stuff and can help do stuff when you've got to kind of you want to worry about other things and stuff. So
yeah. Plus, like
you know
I want to like, I mean, I want to play some games. I mean, this,
yeah.
but I've just been so behind on everything because like I'm trying to record. Like, I think the last 2 weeks out of the 14 days, I think I recorded something 10 of them. And like didn't even really get to play games. And like last night I was playing Crosscode in bed and I fell asleep
Yeah,
maybe 15 minutes after I started playing. And it was just like,
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, the sleep felt really good because I haven't really slept a lot the last few weeks,
yeah,
but I would,
yeah. You got to take it when you can, when you got little ones, man. I'll
yeah,
just tell you that right now. Just
yeah.
take it.
And so like I would like to focus more on playing games so I can talk about us playing games on the show instead of,
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, I played a little bit of this, but not really because I was recording too many podcasts." I mean, and that
yeah,
comes too with like I would really like to add some people so like it would give all of us a little bit of a break and actually like focus on other things, and
yeah.
I know Josh has been a huge help with Tower Casuals, like putting that show together. Like he's been,
Yeah,
because I mean, like that's the only thing he's doing, right? Is Tower Casuals for
yeah,
us,
yeah,
and Celeste has been a huge help editing stuff for Ed
yeah.
and me
She's
writing
been awesome.
stuff, and a huge help on Pow Block, which her and Ed are doing their own show this week, I think, which will probably be all about
Yeah,
snacks instead of games, but that's okay. Like
yeah,
I don't really care what they do. I think she's been a huge help, and I know Ed has kind of been talking to Laurent maybe about doing some stuff with us or for us, which would be really cool. Like I would like to expand a little bit,
hmm
just so it gives us all a little bit of a break. So
hmm
we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this week I'm taking, unless there's a Nintendo Direct, I will not be on Pow Block this week. So I don't know. I'm just gonna try to focus on getting our live show stuff better, looking
hmm
better and feeling more professional and getting that, and then I will focus on the podcast. I think we're in a good place with the podcast. It's getting the other stuff, like the supplemental YouTube stuff, up, and that's something maybe we talk about. Do we
hmm
really need the supplemental YouTube stuff? I don't know. I like doing the what's this on Game Pass and the retro game show, but
hmm
is it really necessary? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think as long as we're doing doing like what we've been playing, and and actually trying to like play games, like give
Yeah,
ourselves time to try some stuff on Game Pass or whatever, we don't necessarily have to capture it like we did. I mean, that it was fun because it gave us an excuse to play stuff online.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think if we were to just like kind of make it a little segment of this show. I mean, we could say like not be like like what we've been playing on Game Pass or like something like like where we could just talk about every once in a while a game that we checked out on Game Pass or something on this show even. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like honestly, it could be dissolved into something like that, as simple as that.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
mean,
like, I want to, like, I mean, I've always felt like YouTube for us was just supplementary. Like, I think our podcasts are obviously the bread and butter of what we do, right? And then, like,
yeah.
the supplement, and I like providing the video shows for people to watch on YouTube after we're done streaming them, right?
Hmm.
But like the other stuff, like I'm more concerned about podcast downloads and live, like our Twitch numbers, than I am about our YouTube subscriptions. Because if I was concerned about YouTube subscriptions, we wouldn't, like, I mean, to be honest, like, we don't have anything really worth watching on YouTube except for our podcasts, and people can download those and do other things while they're listening to us, right? And
Hmm.
our download numbers are like 100 times higher than our YouTube subscriptions. So I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
And like, I really like the live show stuff when people are in the chat talking and stuff. Like yesterday during
Hmm.
Boss Rush, we had probably 12 to 15 people watching at some point, and that was awesome to watch the chat. And
Yeah.
I mean, right now we only have a couple people watching, but Sunday nights I get it. But
Hey. Yeah. And hey, welcome.
yeah, but
But
I
yeah,
think
it's
at one point I would like to maybe have just a group discussion on all that stuff. But I mean, that's what I'm taking this week to do, is really just kind of sit down and prioritize and fix some things that need fixed and make intros to shows that I haven't gotten around to yet, and
yeah,
just
which I
just
try to one of these days get back into working on some music. It's just been really hard because like it's one of like making music for me is one of those things where it's not something I can just do. It's gotta like there's gotta be like a um like not necessarily an inspiration, but it's like how like when like sometimes when you want to play games, but it's like I'm not really in the mood for this kind of game.
mm-hmm.
It's like it's kind of something along there where it's just like like there's sometimes I'll just get like where something pops into my head like a sound or whatever or an idea and if I just try to do stuff sometimes without any kind of inspiration
Yeah,
or idea in mind, it just doesn't. I just feel like I'm not being productive
yeah,
in the so it's just kind of it's been like that because I've been trying to work on an album, but like I'll be honest, like I with everything that's been going on this year, there's been a real lack of inspiration to do any of that kind of stuff this year. I don't
yeah.
know
Well, there's been
why.
a lack of inspiration through most of the year just because of the year.
Yeah, yeah, this
See year
year.
2020.
Yeah, I think this I could probably definitively say that this is probably one of the worst years I've had in my entire life. Like I could completely do without this year. But, as far as Xbox goes, maybe they'll change that a little bit this week, but like it's sad that that's like really like one of the few things to look forward to this year is the new game consoles.
Yeah.
But
So I don't know. We'll figure it out. I
yeah.
don't know. I have like people. I mean, I've had conversations with some people all the time. I just like, there's too many things that I want to do, and then
Yeah.
I'll try to do them all, and it's just not realistic. And like, I
Hmm.
can't get it out of my head that it's not realistic, and I'll just keep trying and trying and trying until like I just kind of like we were talking about before the show started, like trying to stream on my personal Twitch and then switch over to Boss Rush every time we want to do like a show or something. It's just too
Yeah.
much, and
Yeah.
switching back and forth. So I just think that I'm just going to stream from Boss Rush Games from now on because it's more important to me at this moment. And, the getting our live stuff is more important to me than doing something personally, and
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. And I mean, I want to stream some more GamePass stuff, and maybe that just becomes a streaming segment during the week, and then we'll archive it on YouTube or whatever. But I just feel like trying to do YouTube, Twitch, and podcasts all at once is like not realistic for us, and I just need to accept it at some point, and because I would like to write more, and I would like to play more games, and I would like to maybe write reviews once in a while or a blog or whatever, and I haven't been able to do that either. So
it's
and like I would like to play games with you at some point too, like that's
because we haven't really done that now in a little while. I mean, other than we played Destiny for a little bit, but that was just just kind of us doing that for a little while. But like we haven't really, like, we've been talking about going and like Sea of Thieves. Like Sea of Thieves has like secretly become for a lot of people like a reason to play on the Microsoft platform. Like people, there's a lot of people that just rave about Sea of Thieves and how good it's become, and like what a great game it is. And it's like now it's becoming one of those games kind of like Minecraft, honestly, where it's like it's a game that you definitely want to play if you have the opportunity, with friends and stuff. So
also, like, speaking of Sea of Thieves, I would really like to, maybe not next weekend but the weekend after, do an Arsenal X episode from the bow of the ship. It's gonna be a really poor audio episode, but whatever, it'll be fine.
Well, but you with yours, you can talk. Can't you do your microphone through like the
I just meant like probably hear sounds of the ship in the water and us shooting stuff and running around.
Okay.
Which, I mean, I can turn that down, obviously. But I think it'll be fun to do that episode. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it would be, I think. Well, and and like honestly, we could park the ship out like in the middle of nowhere in the water, or by like an island or something like that. Like we could drive while we're doing the show. We could actually do it like it's oceanside like concert type thing where we just doing the show from the boat. But I think it would be fun. But it would be fun too if we were just out in the middle of the ocean doing it and just let the boat sit, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, a big megalodon or a kraken is attacking us while we're doing the show. But, so those are just random. So
oh boy. Well, there's our behind the scenes Boss Rush minute for you guys. So and
you had kind of mentioned Destiny earlier. I was gonna try to say like that we could talk about the Destiny, kind of the Destiny news as far as Microsoft was.
We were gonna talk about that a little bit. So I noticed this the other day when I was scrolling through Twitter, honestly, and it had a big old Xbox logo before the Destiny trailer, and I was like, that's different. And then I went through and did some research. Apparently, Microsoft has the marketing deal with Bungie for Beyond Light, which is really interesting. And we're going to talk a lot more about it on Tower Casuals tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was really interesting. And I also read an interview where Bungie, Destiny was almost an Xbox exclusive. They almost went back to Microsoft because the Activision deal was so bad, and then Activision changed
Yeah.
some of the deal with Bungie, and then they just ended up signing with Activision so they could get the game on all platforms. But they almost went back to Microsoft for the Destiny deal, which would have been huge for Microsoft.
Yeah. Yeah. That. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It would be. I think it would be crazy to think that there's a possibility that it ever would go back to Microsoft at some point. But at the same time, part of me wonders if, like later down the line, if we, like would it be possible that we see Bungie go back to Microsoft and being an exclusive there? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think
I
at this
don't
point,
think they would want to though.
I mean, even if Microsoft did pony up the money for Bungie at this point,
I don't think it would be
I don't
exclusive.
I don't think Destiny would be exclusive. It's too big, and it makes
Mhm.
there's I think there's like double the amount of players on PlayStation than there are on Xbox, and
Mhm.
like the PC market is huge now, and the Steam player
Yeah,
base is huge. So like they would really be it would really be a Minecraft situation where you know Microsoft just owns Bungie,
yeah,
but still it would
yeah.
be
Because
everywhere.
yeah, and they've kind of said that they don't really want to do that stuff as much if they can help. But the
Yeah,
whole exclusivity stuff, I mean,
yeah. So
you do what you got to do as a business, but it's not something that they're really as interested in. And
yeah.
Phil's kind of said that multiple times. But
Whoops. Yeah. So, I mean, I just thought that was really interesting, though, that
yeah,
Microsoft,
it
like, I
is.
mean, if you just look at the Beyond Light trailer now, there's a big old Xbox logo at the beginning, and at the end it says Xbox, and it was from the official Bungie account too. So I was like, oh, well, interesting. Uh, and
Well,
I know Phil Spencer is a huge Destiny fan, by the way. So,
yeah, yeah,
Phil, play with me, Phil.
yeah,
Why doesn't Phil
yeah.
like us? Why doesn't he like us?
Uh,
Phil, I thought we were friends. That'd be awesome,
yeah,
though. I can't wait for that 1v1
yeah,
episode. We talked to Phil.
yeah.
We'll get there
Someday.
someday. Someday.
Yeah.
Not today. Someday. Tell you what, though, if he agreed to a 1v1, I would be calling off work so fast for that day. Be
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
get one
that
of like
would.
the three people I want to talk to in this entire world on my show. I'd be like, sorry, not going into
Yeah,
work today.
yeah. You can talk to me whatever day, whatever time you want. Just
Yeah,
let me know, and I'll take off work so I can do it.
right. So, but yeah, that was really interesting to see that Bungie and Microsoft are becoming buddy buddy again. It seems like so.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, which like we had just earlier in the week when you kind of mentioned it, I said that and you kind of suspected the same as well, that I think that was all just an Activision deal in the first place with Sony.
mhm,
Like I don't think they had any choice in that. I
yeah,
think I think Activision said, "Hey, by the way, Sony's going to give us money. We're gonna, our Call of Duty games are have a deal with them, and you guys now are owned by us, so you will be, with through with Sony as well, no, with us. So
yeah,
I don't think they really had much of a choice in that, to be honest.
yeah,
So I think they probably would have preferred teaming up with Xbox if it was their choice in the first place. But
yeah. Uh, all right. Well, going back to Game Pass for a second, I did see that. Keeping with the space theme here, No Man's Sky has seen a huge increase in their gaming numbers. apparently when it was added to Game Pass, they saw over 1 million new players join up in No Man's Sky, and that actually goes coincides with their new expansion called Desolation, which is a free update for the game. They said that they're seeing their biggest numbers ever, and considering that Xbox and I think they said Windows PC is crossplay, that's pretty big. That game is doing all right now. I know when it launched, it had its fair share of problems, but
I still haven't played it. I downloaded it now, but I would like to play it because I've still never gotten a chance to just give it a shot.
Yeah, it kind of like reminds me a little bit of, remember when we played Journey to the Savage Planet? It kind of reminds me of that a little bit in terms of what it looks like and stuff. I would look. I think it's come a long way since did you ever watch the Jurassic Park trailer for it? Where it was
I didn't.
They showed like these amazing graphics and these amazing animals walking around. It was the Jurassic Park theme song, and he was like, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." And as soon as after he says that, it has like this really derpy looking animal with some really bad version of the Jurassic Park. You should really look it up. It's
okay. I will.
It's funny. I feel bad because I know that they actually commented on that trailer and had tried to have people take it down for them because it was so detrimental to the game. But I feel bad laughing, but it was pretty funny. It was really funny. But I'm glad that game is in a really good place now, and adding the multiplayer stuff and this new free update seems to be more about dangerous derelict freighters that you can go and investigate on top of the planets and stuff. So
I heard it adds more of like a horror sci-fi type of kind of feel to the game that wasn't quite there as much until now.
And you don't ever have to engage with it. It's just there for people who want to have that experience. So that's really cool. So but yeah, that's kind of all I got in terms of news. I know we kind of talked about what we were playing yesterday, but have you been playing anything new or interesting?
I played some Forza Horizons 4. Still a great game, amazing game.
I love watching that game in motion. I really hope that Horizon 4 gets a Series X patch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they will. It would kind of be stupid not to, because like it's still one of their biggest selling. I feel like Forza games, like it's like like people absolutely loved that one. I honestly think that we're gonna see all the because one of the things, remember, that Microsoft did with their hardware is they have that the console has the ability to upscale games without actually having to do it from a point of like putting a bunch of work into it. If I remember correctly, they said that just automatically a lot of their backlog stuff or their Xbox One stuff will just look better, instantly, without any kind of real upgrade from their side. So because I mean, if it's already pushing 4K, really the only thing that they can do is upgrade the frame rate, and then like all the ray tracing and all that stuff. If it does that kind of on its own in some ways, there shouldn't be a whole lot more that they would really have to do. I guess that's the thing. We'll see. Like, I cannot wait. I can't wait to get one, and experience like all the stuff that we've kind of been hearing about,
Yeah.
and getting to see it actually working, in motion,
Yeah.
which we'll get to kind of see this week as well. I'm sure we'll get to see some like actual gameplay of stuff that we haven't yet, like Halo.
Yeah, well, they confirmed Halo campaign stuff, so
I cannot wait for Halo, and
I
I'm
know I can't.
like
I
just
would.
out of nowhere the other day, I was just like, dude, I was excited for it this whole time, but it's getting closer and it's getting more real.
I know. I really
So
want to play through the campaigns of the Halo games again before it comes out, and I think I'm going to just to play them. Like I want to play them all, and hopefully, get those, get that game. I want to play through Halo 4 and 5 specifically, just because like I like Halo 4 a lot, but I don't
yeah,
really remember what happens in Halo 4. And
yeah,
I've played through Halo 5 3 times, and I still don't have any idea what happened in that story. So, including one time with you and Ed, and which is on our
yeah.
YouTube
I just
page. But
Yeah, that's the one with those plane things, right? Where we crashed like a million times, or
yeah,
was that 4?
I think
Oh, okay.
I think I think that might have been 4. Actually, probably I think it was 3 actually. But
Okay.
I don't remember. I just remember crashing a lot of stuff all the time, and we pushed Ed
Yeah,
off the edge when he wasn't paying attention. That was fun. So yeah,
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 yeah. But yeah, I just can't wait to even just see what is Halo Infinite. Like, what is it? Like,
right,
why is it different? Why,
yeah,
that's that's the main thing I think everyone's kind of waiting for.
yeah,
So, is this gonna be like their like Witcher 3 like of Halo? Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. And by all accounts, it's probably going to be some sort of open world kind of. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
partial.
Well, open ring, I guess. That's what people are starting to say. So I don't know. I just can't wait for Halo, and I hope that the campaign is really good, and I hope that we are able to play it together, and I hope that we are able to play a huge campaign. And what I really think is going to happen, honestly, I don't know if you remember in Halo 4 on Xbox 360, they had those special ops missions where they were basically, they had 2 seasons of it, and it was a new weekly. Each season was 12 episodes, and every week they'd release 2 or 3 missions that told a small story, and you played with your multiplayer Spartan, and you played through it,
Hmm.
and it was kind of like a meant to be some sort of bridge between 4 and 5 type thing, but it never
Okay.
really, like, it was basically just, okay, we're Spartans, we're gonna go here, we're gonna shoot stuff, we're gonna go here, shoot stuff, maybe press a button, and then we're gonna go here and shoot stuff, and then that was the end of the mission. Like, it wasn't like a real Halo
Hmm.
mission, but it was a unique concept where they just kept adding story elements to the game.
Hmm.
And I wonder if they're gonna do that. I wonder if that's gonna be like, there's gonna be like the main campaign, right? But every,
Yeah.
like, once a month or once every couple weeks, they're gonna add a new set of story missions that you can go do and
Yeah.
tackle and see if the story changes at all, or if the world changes. And
Yeah, like, well, almost like a Destiny approach, but but if because like they could definitely do the Destiny approach of where you're constantly, getting add-ons to the story, which would make it infinite if they just keep on, adding new sections, and like, I don't know that this would be the last Halo, but I mean, there could exist a world where they constantly add on to it, and you could just over time, even if you're starting it up late, you can go back and play every section of the story, because like ultimately that's really the only even if that was the only thing that they really pulled from the Destiny kind of idea, I
Uh-huh.
think that that was all that would be all really they would need of the whole Destiny idea for the most part is just having the or like Fortnite, like even look Fortnite, like how they have those really cool, unique, like intros to the new seasons and stuff like that. Like I could see them doing that kind of stuff more with Halo and like really having a just like a almost like a 15 or a 10, even just a 10 minute, 5-10 minute movie that like and like introduces you to the new season of like like the beginning of the next part of the story,
Hmm.
like an actual like almost like a TV, like when you get the TV shows where the after the season ends, the next when the next season begins, you get kind of like quick look at this is what happened previously, and then kind of bring you into the new season. Like
Hmm.
I could see them doing something like that and just continuously adding to Halo instead of making numbers after this,
Yeah.
like continuing that. Because, I mean, what are they going to, like, at this point, just calling it Halo Infinite, like, that says to me that all they could do moving forward is either continue to add to this or completely reboot the franchise.
Yeah.
Like, just completely start all over again.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Microsoft. I don't know if they would really want to try that. I don't know. I guess I don't know how much the majority of fans would feel if they were to reboot the franchise. Um, I don't know. Personally, I love Halo. You know, like just what it for what it is.
Hmm.
Like I wouldn't have any personal problems with them rebooting it, but honestly, I do think I would rather them do the whole Destiny thing where they just continuously add
Yeah.
to it.
Well,
And
I just I feel like Halo's 20 years old at this point, right? Like
yeah,
that's not much older than Resident Evil 2. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And we got
yeah,
that remake
yeah,
last year. So I mean, I wouldn't mind if they like
remade them. Yeah,
well, not even remake, but just like retell the story in a new way and like
yeah,
make the levels make sense with the story that they're telling. And because like especially that second level, some of the levels in Halo are like they're still built for that RTS game that they want to make, and they're just not. They they made a first person shooter out of it, and the levels don't make sense because for a first person shooter.
yeah,
Like I think if they made the levels make sense for a first person shooter and really gave us a remake of Halo, or even a or even if they wanted to make the story keep going, like I don't know. I think a Halo remake would be better than a reboot at this point.
yeah,
I know we got
yeah,
the anniversary editions and stuff, but I don't think that that really counts as it's more of like a remaster than a anything. But also like I would like to
hmm
see
yeah,
them. I would like to see the Halo universe before Master Chief was the only Spartan, right? Like I would like to
hmm
see more Blue Team and more even stories outside of Master Chief, right? ODST and Reach are
hmm
awesome games. Like where I want more
yeah.
of that, like
Yeah, like getting those rebooted or not rebooted, but like a remake of those would be amazing too. Yeah, I think that's partially why. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't really mind if they rebooted or remade, some of those games because, there's the the unfortunate part of a game like kind of in its story starting a long time ago is you kind of get stuck in what you began with,
mhm.
and
It's the
you
same
know,
problem that
and
it's almost the same problem that Star Wars has right now, right? Like
yeah,
they're so tied to these characters. They're so tied to like telling the same stories. People don't want that story anymore, right? Like leave it alone. Give us the Darth Revan story everybody's been asking for. Give us the Admiral
yeah,
Thrawn trilogy. Give us some sort of like big new adventure because
yeah,
it's a galaxy far, far away, and you're making this galaxy feel so small, focusing on the same set of characters this whole time. Don't get me wrong, I really like the new trilogy of Star Wars movies, like I really do,
mm-hmm.
and I like the original trilogy enough, and the prequels are they exist, right? Like I don't not like them, but like I
Yeah,
don't think they're great. I
yeah,
feel like there could be there's so much more story to tell outside of just this.
yeah.
And
Well,
Halo's
like look
explored a
at
little bit of
the Mandalorian. You know, the Mandalorian is an amazing show.
yeah, but like they're gonna start introducing characters that we already know into the story now.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
that's true.
not that I don't mind seeing Ahsoka show up or whatever, but like Boba Fett survived. Like you're gonna introduce Boba Fett now into this story. Like we don't need that. You know, we tell this story. You know,
Yeah,
I I'm just I mean I'm not trying to be like that guy or anything, but like it'd be different if like okay Ninja Turtles for example. Yeah, it's the Ninja Turtles. You're going to focus on the Ninja Turtles, but Star Wars is like you're not focusing like the title implies you're not going to focus on the same set of characters. So let's explore outside this same set of characters. Let's explore like even Rogue
hmm
One was really exciting up until the point where like oh, well Darth Vader's the villain. Okay. You know,
yeah,
I mean that movie was great. I really liked that movie, but like even the spin-off stuff that you were doing still focuses on there's still characters that are relevant to the mainline story in it. Like,
yeah, yeah. Like it's almost like they felt like they had to have Darth Vader in it. When I would argue that that movie was such a great standalone movie that you didn't need to even show Darth Vader
yeah.
in it.
Although the Darth Vader
Like
parts
it
were
would have
like,
been just, you know,
I do think,
important.
well, important, but I also think like that movie showed maybe this kind of like kills any argument that I have, but I still think like the Darth Vader moments in that movie made it was like the visual representation of what everybody wanted Darth Vader to be in the original
Yeah,
trilogy, and just they
yeah,
didn't have the wherewithal or like the technology to make him that scary.
yeah,
And like in Rogue One
yeah,
he is scary, you know, like
yeah,
even
yeah,
at the end when he's standing there watching the ship get away and he just looks menacing and all powerful and like he's gonna like I don't know, I don't know, I just think that that's what everybody wanted Darth Vader to be, and he ended up not really being that in the original trilogy.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I mean, you kind of had
but like
your
that's something they could
holdbacks
do.
and
Like they could like
yeah,
if they rebooted, even if they rebooted Star Wars, they could do that now. You know,
yeah.
I mean, I
They
think a
could
lot of
make
people want them to do that anyway. But
yeah. Well, and like as much as I liked Darth Maul as a character, he kind of sucked.
well, he was
Like
kind of a waste. He could have been the bad guy all the way through until they revealed
yeah,
that you know Palpatine was the Sith
yeah,
Lord, and then they could have had Anakin fight him to be the new apprentice.
yeah.
But I don't know. That
Yeah, yeah. There, you know, that and that, like, yeah, that's kind of like I was saying is and you were saying that there's so much that could be done, and there's so much, especially in Star Wars, there's so much lore
yeah,
and things that haven't been touched on. You know, like they probably have like in the million different like animated shows or whatever
hmm
that they've made,
yeah,
but I mean, you know. There's just so many things that they could do. Hell, they if they wanted to, they could make up a new planet that we've never been to yet.
hmm
That has there's something that exists or some reason that you know that planet becomes crucial to the Star Wars, story or whatever. And yeah, I mean, honestly, there's like a when you're dealing with something that's basically, feels like it's infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
there's literally you could create new planets or whatever. You could ultimately do whatever you'd want to do
Yeah.
because there's a lot more stars than the ones that they focused on,
Right.
in the galaxy. So
Right. So I don't know. That's our Star Wars minute, I guess. I
Halo / Star Wars.
Yeah, but like I think Halo is like with their spin-off stories. At least they did it. They went a different way than Star Wars
Hmm.
did, right? Like ODST.
Hmm.
Yeah, it takes place during the main story, but it's about these characters that are kind of irrelevant to the story, and I think that's cool. Which to
Yeah.
tie it back to Star Wars, like that's what I liked about Jedi Fallen Order so much is like it takes place in between 3 and 4, but ultimately doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
and like that I don't want to spoil anything, but the way like the end is like okay, they did introduce some characters from the movies, but still it was still really cool to see like that story play out, and I really hope that there's a sequel, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a sequel, but that game was like really awesome. I really enjoyed that game.
I
To the
still need to finish it.
It's still to the
I
point
have
where
it.
like I think about going back and cleaning up the rest of those achievements at some point,
Yeah.
just to play it again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halo really did a good job with their, especially like Reach for being a prequel. Yeah, they Master Chief is more of an Easter egg than a story plot,
Hmm.
which you don't even see him if you don't look at a certain point, and
Hmm.
so I don't know. I just think that these big universes you create these huge universes with all this lore and stuff, and it's like, and Destiny is almost getting to that point too.
Hmm.
As excited as I am with Beyond Light, it's like they're still bringing back characters that like thought were gone, and it's not a whole
Hmm.
galaxy. It's literally just the solar system, but like
Well, and the thing too about, with the Destiny is why I think honestly they need to start making new stuff is because, like we were kind of saying with the idea of, if Halo Infinite literally was where they just keep on adding stuff to it.
mm-hmm,
um at some point, if you're, because it costs money for each new expansion for Destiny.
mm-hmm.
And it's not like only $15 or something like that. I mean, it's a little bit more
It's
expensive than that.
$40, and it's
Yeah.
and it's
So
80 if you want all the season passes. So
yeah. So at some point, they're gonna have to either bring new characters or, like do something more than just, keep on using the same assets because
well,
I
I think
mean,
I think they are moving in that direction that this
yeah,
time though, especially because there's new locations. There's a new planet for the first time in forever.
yeah,
There's a new. They're introducing a new subclass, which is the
mhm,
darkness, which is stasis. Like they're introducing a lot of new stuff. I mean, it's old stuff,
yeah,
but it's new stuff to players, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's going to be in this the way they're doing this season. By far, is the best season that I've played so far since they moved to the
yeah.
seasonal model,
Hmm.
and just
I
adding.
think I think it's because they don't have Activision or anyone breathing down their back. They can just, like,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I feel like they've just really been on their A game since they've left. Like,
yeah,
honestly, it's like almost exactly or when they left, things started going
Yeah,
getting
I
better
think
and stuff.
I think we're really starting to see the fruits of that labor now.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think these big universes, like it's different with like Gears, for example. And I think Gears actually has done it the best since it in their universe isn't even big like Destiny or Halo, right? Like they've
Hmm.
given us new characters to care about, and
Hmm.
we're kind of moving away from the old guard, but they're still there in some capacity, but they're not like really relevant to the story, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like Gears is doing the best job of it, and as I
Hmm.
stare at the Operation 4 thumbnail and it's Dom, right? But that's more for multiplayer stuff. But
Yeah.
I think the Gear story is doing the best job at extending their story outside of the characters that we like, and Kate is an awesome character,
Yeah.
and Dell and JD, and like, it's they make you care about these new characters, and towards the end of Gears 5 there's a choice you have to make, and they really make you care about that choice when you get there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
it's tough, and I want to know how they deal with that in Gear 6, which hopefully
Yeah.
happens soon. And Gears Tactics was another great way of expanding that story, and
Hmm.
Halo Wars, I would like to play through Halo Wars 2 at some point. I see Luke tweeted out a lot that he's playing Halo Wars 2. I'm like, man, I want to play Halo Wars now. But
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
time I get home
Well,
and
the
do stuff, I'm like, I don't really want to play it right now. I got too many other things to do.
Yeah. Isn't that like though like his like go-to
Hmm.
game? Like that's like one of his all-time favorite.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Destiny for me or Call of Duty for you.
Yeah.
It's just like his
Yeah.
thing. So
Which less and less Call of Duty is not that anymore. Like honestly, like I
no,
don't know what I don't. Yeah. No,
I
I
just
know
went
what you're saying. Yeah.
generic kind of.
Yeah.
Um,
Trying to think of what would even be kind of my thing now. I don't know that I really have something like that. Well, I mean, I've been playing, streaming Dead Space because that's always an amazing game, but that's more to do with my with my Twitch stuff. I'm just trying to get some kind of just something like try to use Twitch and get better at that kind of thing.
yeah.
Of just like being by myself playing something and then trying to talk.
Hmm. Yeah. Uh, well, that's
think
that's all I got, Jesse. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
um the only thing is yeah, just a reminder that remember then this week, if you haven't noticed it already, there should be a random thing popping up on your Xbox um home screen that will just be filled with demos
Oh
for
yeah,
you to be able to play and download this, that it will be going through the week.
yeah,
I believe it's, yeah, 1 week of it. And I gonna make somewhat of a small prediction for the show that I think we might actually get at the end of the, well, I think we kind of talked about this, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got some kind of demo, like Microsoft exclusive demo, that you can play, of like like one of their upcoming games, or
hmm,
like one of the games that they show, that they reveal at the show, like that, like maybe the next week after it will come out or something, like a demo, a playable demo of the game, or possibly even that day. I mean, I don't, because the issue with that is you don't know if they're going to want to try to compete with some of those other demos or take any time away from those demos. So maybe they make it where it's a longer time period that you have that demo,
hmm,
or it just, if you have Xbox, uh, if you have Game Pass, it will that demo will just will just stay in there for for until whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them doing something like that, because we've kind of talked about it, that, and Phil Spencer has talked about that he wants to make Game Pass the a platform where there's games that you can only exclusively play on Game Pass. So
And that's
I think that would be a good starting off point of that idea, is putting some demos of first party Xbox games that are coming out, either soon or within the beginning of next year, and putting those demos and stuff like that on Game Pass that are only for people who have Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate.
yeah.
Because Game Pass Ultimate, like, you do get some games like a week or two at a time, so before release, you get to play them early. So
Yeah.
I can see something like that too. So
Yeah.
that was something I was just thinking about the other day. That, like, what if they put some demos out, as well, but give us longer time to not really take away from all those other demos that will be released.
Yeah.
Because they're the only ones doing it. I mean, I think there might be some of that stuff on Steam or on PC, but I don't think it's going to be the same amount. I don't know. So
Yeah. Plus, like, I think Steam is doing a similar thing anyway on PC. So,
yeah,
but it's still good that Microsoft is doing this on the Xbox, because I mean, I don't really see Sony or Nintendo doing that.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since demo discs, man.
Right.
Like, it's been a long time since we've been able to just regularly have, like, a bunch of demos to pick from to play,
Right.
So,
Yeah.
even, like, just having them with the game when you buy a game.
Yeah.
Having a demo right there with it.
Even if you buy the game and are downloading it in xCloud, you can play, like, the first whatever while it's downloading in the background, like, that's, I think that's another big thing that they're focusing on, I think. So
But I think that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for me as well. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Remember, you can catch us live here Sunday nights to talk about Xbox on Arsenal X. You can also catch us throughout the week for our live shows for our other podcasts. So check those out. You can also download our family of shows on your podcast service of choice, or watch it on our YouTube page, and check out all of our content on bossrushgames.com. Jesse, where can we find you?
You can find me almost everywhere as Phantom NXS.
Yeah, and you can find me at I am Corey in HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me at Corey in HD on Twitch. You can also find me on various other shows here, as well as Jesse. And yeah, I think that's it. So I want to thank everybody so much for watching and or listening. A few minor changes are happening for our live shows, but it's more of a visual difference for live shows, and nothing about the shows are going to change, just kind of a nicer looking format, I hope. So anyways, remember to like, subscribe, share, rate, and review. If you're watching us on Twitch, remember to click that heart and some notification things. I don't know how it really works. I'm looking at it. So but we're going to throw up the X because we are exiting out of the show. Goodbye, everybody.
Just wanted to get it in case.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
What's the matter? You hurt? Hey, bro.